Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is a balls deep of a game called Dear Esther, or Esther, or however you say that name. This is a game I've been really interested in for a long time, and it's quite a controversial one for obvious reasons. This is a walking simulator, if you don't know, guys. It's made by the people who made Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs, which is one of my favourite of those kind of horror games ever made, because I really like the music, I really like the story, and I really like the writing in that game, and it was made by these people, and this was the game they made before. So I'm jumping into this as something a bit different from all the first-person shooters and indie games and stuff, but let's see what the options are like. So, audio-wise, nothing too extravagant there. Video-wise, what have we got? 16 by 9, 1920. Field of view can be wider. Let's dump that up. You can put a crosshair on if you want, which is interesting. Let's check the advanced settings. Texture detail goes from low to high. We've got 4 times anti-aliasing. That goes up to 8. We'll do 8. Wait for vertical sync. I don't know what that means. Normally in FPS you disable that for better performance, so let's disable it. We've got detailed foliage. Detailed foliage draw distance. Let's put it as high as possible, right? This is running right now at 144 frames, so I don't understand why that wouldn't all be on high, but whatever. Make sure it's applied and done. Seems fine. Should be okay. What else we got? Keyboard. Mouse acceleration disabled. Good, you don't want that. Sensitivity should be fine. Acceleration should be... Hang on a second, we don't want acceleration. What are the keys? WASD, zoom in is mouse 1. There's no sprint, definitely no sprint, good to know. Let's do this, shall we? Oh wow, you can put the director's commentary on. That is fucking sweet. Wow, it's just shot up to nearly 400 frames as well in this menu for some reason. Let's do the lighthouse, shall we? So there are 4 stages.
Dear Esther, I've lost track of how long I've been here, and how many visits I have made.
Oh, am I moving? Whoa, I'm moving immediately.
The landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could
300 frames, boys.
Across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea.
Dude,
Besides,
you move slow in this game.
That if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Auto torch, always good. Nice filthy toilet. I was cleaning that. There's your sexy zoom. It's the spooky ghost noises. Is this a horror game? Is it a real horror show? Okay. CSI boys have been through then, I see. This is of course where he ejaculated before he murdered everyone. And then wrote a cryptic... I don't even know what that is. Is that Magic the Gathering strategies? I don't really understand. Nothing in here then. There's no run, really. I don't think there's a run, boys. No run. Damn. Why am I moving faster now? I was moving slow in that. Oh my god, they did it again. Where's Grissom when you need him? Filthy bastards. Maybe it's just the tin of paint. What is this? Luminous paint. Oh, there you go. It's got nothing to do with ejaculate. It's not even been a murder. Just luminous paint. Is that a thistle? Damn, that looks really two-dimensional. Good job, guys. It looks great at a distance. That's what matters, right? I'll lower my sensitivity so I'm not, like, doing that too much. Damn, the movement is ridiculously slow. Is that two-dimensional barbed wire? Yes, it is. I played bloody ECW on PlayStation 1. Spotted that shit. Got some kind of lighting, some kind of tower in the distance there. Sound of wind in our ears on this coastal shore. Very precarious. Fucking hell, I don't want to walk across that. So I believe that all you do in this game is you walk around
reported the
and
legend of the hermit,
you listen to this guy
a
talk.
holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 160
What the hell is
years
that?
later. The shepherds
Somebody's like
left
Morse
gifts
coding me
for
with
him
a
at the mouth
torch.
of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Okay. Interesting proposition though, isn't it? Exploring like a very atmospheric place while somebody tells you like fragments of a story that I'm assuming will come together towards the end. Can I... Are you fucking kidding me? I can walk across this? No. I'm gonna say, that looked like a silly idea. Is there any threat of death? I wonder. I suppose the reason why they don't let you run in stuff like this is so that you don't trip all the dialogue cues at once. But then you'd think they'd stagger them, right? But then maybe you could stagger so many cues that by the time you get to something really important and it's meant to talk about it, he doesn't talk about it, and then that would probably be a really bad thing. Oh, here we go. This is your way back up. Maybe you had to do this.
Those islands
so there's
in
a
the
path
distance,
there.
I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
Namulist. Interesting. You can already tell immediately, can't you? This is a very, very like evocative game with the music and the writing. Like, what's going on here? Billy has one triangle and Sarah has one circle. When Billy and Sarah consummate their shapes, what shape does said shape make? One of them. I don't even know what that is. Weird.
Found the
got some nice
manifest,
texture work.
Crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Is that a car door? What year is this set in? Was this ye old England? I just saw a car door. That's either anachronistic, or it gives us an idea that it's not as old. It's talking about yogurt as well, which I'm sure there was probably yogurt in, you know, the olden days, because it's just like fucking about with dairy products. So I'm assuming it's maybe quite modern, just isolated. I like how the brush on top of the rocks is moving with that wind just then. That was nice. But games like this are a tough sell, I think. I think these kind of games appeal more to people of a very specific type of persuasion. Like, I like them because I like the idea of them. Like, I like the idea of being a storyteller and then sculpting a very specific type of delivery of that story. So I play a game like this to see how the music cues and how they use it and how it, you know, complements what's happening and where it's placed. I think I play them in a lot of ways the same as how I watch certain movies, when I'm not even watching it for the story, I'm watching it for the cinematography, for the lighting, for how the actors deliver the lines, for how the director got what he needed from that scene, and how he's manipulating the audience. I think I play them in very much a similar way, because I know I'm going to take elements from this and I'm going to apply it to my own creative things, be it storytelling or some kind of art. Because I do think they're very interesting, but it's a tough sell, isn't it, for a game? We've been playing for, what, like 15 minutes? And I've walked up a cliffside, fell down some rocks, and listened to a dude talk 3 times. That's not enough for some people. It's not even close. Like, they don't even want to
The mount is
entertain
clearly
the
the focal
idea
point of this
of
landscape.
wasting time with this.
It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here.
That's like
Was
an
this
epic name,
island
bro.
formed during the moment of impact, when we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders? Did it first break surface then?
That was a beautiful line. I don't know why I'm questioning the age when there's a massive fucking radio tower over there with a big blinking
When
light on
someone
it.
had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Uh-oh. He has something affecting his mind. That was weird. The infection, that sounds ominous. Probably touched some of this two-dimensional barbed
God-fearing
wire.
people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years
Oh,
before
damn.
the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I
1776,
wonder,
boys.
did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
Oh, interesting. Dude, I love the wordplay that they have, this studio. They're very good with that. Didn't they do Everybody's Gone to the Rapture? That was a cool game. I don't think it was their best work. Some of the writing was okay, but it took way too long to get to the really good stuff. Kind of, I suppose, what will probably be the victim of this, because...
Dear Esther,
Oh, here we go.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any
That is
conceivable
some really
boundary of
nice
life.
foreshadowing. That's the cave we saw here. We saw the blinking light. We didn't know at the
I threw
time
my
that that's where we
arms
were
wide,
going.
and the cliff opened out before me,
That's
making
cool.
this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy
Oh,
on the
God.
mount and tried to live here instead.
Is it Orphan of
It
Cos?
was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide.
And his seminal
To climb
sermons?
the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
Dude, this is the fishing hamlet. This is how we originally got eyes on the inside. Can you not see this? How have we been so stupid? Like little vagina trees. I love it. For the lonely shepherds, right? Something to put their shepherd sticks into. That's where we came in. What the fuck? I just looped a weird circle. Is there no path through here? I'm assuming I can't touch this shit, right? Nice tin of paint. Somebody went nuts and started drawing all these weird murals. Weird. It's very mystic, like mystical, and then you see the tin of paint, you're like, oh, it's just some knobhead. Probably huffed some fermented wine and went on a nice bender, spraying shit, luminous paint. There's a goal. Interesting. There's the music. So do we go up here? I love that haunting tune just then. Very melancholic. Very fitting for this as a vista. I wonder if there is something as arbitrary as a goal here. I don't think I'd be walking this slow though, would you? Fuck that. It'll get dark soon. The monsters mostly come at night. Mostly.
I've become convinced I'm not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
Yeah, that Jessica Curry, man, she's a fucking talented lady. I approve of her music. Got a nice little bootleg Stonehenge. I don't see any candles though. Maybe he's delusional. Oh, here we go. What's this? Chemistry. His only companion is the wind at the moment. That texture work looks incredible. Especially at a distance. Damn. That's the thing with textures. Depending on perspective and depending on how you look at them, they look awesome, and then at other parts they look not so awesome, right? It's such a fine line between amazing, convincing, and awful. Wow, we're up to 500 frames at this point. What's going on? Crazy. Now, if we could just have a gun and shoot some shit, best game ever, right? What if there's a Doom mod for this? Just rip and tear. Oh damn, a loading screen.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Interesting. It's like a ship graveyard down here. Anyhow, guys, that's going to be it. This is so interesting to me, but maybe not so much to you, or to a lot of people. And I get it completely, I really do. The narrative drives me, you know, the same way a book would. But that's not enough for a lot of people, and this is indeed a video game. So if you like wandering around and listening to a mystery and hopefully solving it, and I say solving it, it's been very meticulously given to you, so it's less about you and more about them, then this could be the game for you. It's very cheap right now, and very interesting. I kind of love that this can exist in a culture of video games as it stands, you know, because it is so really, really, really different. But you've got to be in the right place for this kind of game or you're going to hate it. But that was Dear Esther. I think it seems really cool. Thank you for watching. You take care now.